This episode is sponsored by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the best and easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even more. It's everything you need to make a podcast right in one place. And best of all, Anchor's totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM to get started. Enjoy this episode of Breakroom Banter. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Breakroom Banter. It's a hairstylist adjacent podcast where each week two friends who happen to be hairstylists break down our weeks in the break room. I'm your host, Hunter Walden, joined as always by my lovely co-host,
Anna Schrader. And today we are going to be talking about our side hustles.
Whoop, whoop.
What we do outside of the salon.
Multiple streams of income, if you will.
Yeah, how we like to stay afloat. Also kind of like our hobbies, right?
I was muted, sorry. Yeah.
I was like, not again. Hunter and I have been experiencing some technical difficulties, so hopefully it all goes well. To say the least.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Every week here on our podcast, we like to start off with building a beautiful bouquet of roses and thorns. And this week,
I think that it's important that we acknowledge the biggest thorn that is kind of taking over the entire world right now is what's happening in Europe to the Ukrainian people. And I don't know about you, but it's kind of like a heavy cloud, isn't it?
It is. It's been kind of looming over everyone's minds recently.
Yeah. So we just want to acknowledge our hearts, our prayers are with the people who are experiencing loss and the tragedy that is happening. And we pray for peace soon. And that's our goal, is to have peace. And although it's a huge thorn in life, we try to always see the roses. And our hope is that even people who are in the worst of situations are able to somehow find a rose. And as well as those who are listening to this, no matter how hard your situation might be, where you are, we hope that through it all, you can still find some roses. So with that,
let's
Hunter,
share our rose and thorns.
Yeah, why don't you share something good that happened this week?
So something good that happened to me this week was a beautiful week. We had like 70-degree weather all week. And I decided to go ahead and plant my summer flowers, the bulbs, which leads into my thorn, as I think I may have done it too early.
What did you plant? What bulbs?
I did gladiolas, dahlias, and I forgot the third one. They were all like cutting flowers, but it got really cold today. Which really cold to me is
freezing?
No.
Oh,
really cold to me is not really cold to you.
You should be fine. Do you know what zone you're in?
4, I believe.
4, really?
I think. I'm probably wrong. I'm definitely wrong.
I feel like you would be in a 4 or 5 because I'm in a 3 or 4. You must be in at least a 5. But oh, that is so exciting. I'm so jealous that you have grass and that you can dig. We're still
the ground is still frozen.
Yes, yeah. Where I like to say March is like the end of the third quarter of winter, and like relating it to a football game. We're not even to the fourth quarter of winter yet. We still have 2 more months, possible 2 months. It's like May is always hit or miss. May is usually our spring, but every once in a while you'll get like a random massive snowstorm in May that just sets you back.
That stresses me out so much.
Okay,
which is why you're going to come visit soon.
Yes, I know. We were actually talking about this. So that leads me to mine, and it's also weather related. my thorn, it rained. It rained, and we got like, it totally threw the weekend off. Everyone who was coming up to go skiing and snowboarding, like the hills were closed because they couldn't open the lifts because they were frozen. And it rained and then froze. And it was like hazardous to even leave your house. Everything was covered in a sheet of ice.
It does that here sometimes. Well, that's what I was telling you. We have like ice storms, not snowstorms.
Yes. Well, my good friend came up from Minneapolis, and they were going to be going snowboarding, and their plans got canceled because everything was closed. So that was a thorn, but because she was here, I would have just honestly stayed inside all weekend. Because she was here with her friend and her husband, I like went out snowshoeing, and it was really nice to get out and have some social time. And then it snowed. Today I went for a ski, and Hunter, it was the most amazing, magical ski I've ever experienced.
It looked stunning.
Yes. So imagine.
I seriously thought you were riding something, though. I didn't know you could ski on flat ground.
Yes, it's cross-country skiing. So it's like you're skating kind of through the woods on like a groomed trail. And but it was so perfect. Seriously, like the sun was kind of low, so it like cast light on the fresh snow, so it was like glitter on the snow, and then everything was covered in ice, so it looked like everything was made of glass, and the sun like shining through the ice was like kind of colorful and rainbow like, and
Ooh.
like snow on top of that. It was so magical. And I know that you have an aversion to the cold, like correct me if I'm wrong, but you might even have like a deep fear of the cold.
Just a little bit.
Today was one of those days. I was thinking about you because I'm skiing through the woods. I'm like, okay, I gotta get home and we're gonna record today. Like, oh my gosh, I wish Hunter could experience this. Like, I just was like, I wish I could just strap you to my back like a little baby and like go. It was amazing.
I'll get in a little backpack.
You would have been so happy. You would have loved it. And I just wish everyone could experience that because it was so beautiful. So out of a thorn came a very beautiful rose. And I was just really happy to get some fresh air, and it's what I needed.
Awesome. I have something to tack on to my rose that's not flower related. I actually got accepted to be in the next round of voting for a reality TV show.
What?
Yeah, I posted it on my Instagram yesterday. I found out that I don't know, because I posted like 4 slides about it. I was real excited. But
I was busy yesterday. Busy painting. Anyways, go on.
I know we'll have to talk about that here in a second. But yes, so I was accepted to the next round, and this round is audience votes. So everyone gets 1 free vote a day, and then I will be raising money for the JED Foundation, which is mental health and suicide awareness in young adults.
Wow.
And for every $1 donated is an additional vote for me to be on television.
So you might be cast.
I might
in
be
this?
cast, yes. And
oh my gosh.
yeah.
What is the premise of the show?
It's called Influence Me TV. And it is a competition reality show that is on the hunt for the next most influential influencer. It's a lot of influence words to say at one time. But yeah.
Wow.
So it's
you're
hairstylists, makeup artists, personal trainers, any type of influencer is welcome to apply. And it's been like 3 or 4 months now. I had a casting agent reach out to me and ask me to apply. and I applied, and I've made it through. This is now like the third round, and the voting will have started by the time that the podcast release. It will have opened, quote unquote, yesterday, but in our world, it opens up tomorrow. So in the description of this video, I will post a link to where you can cast your free votes, and then if you would like to donate to the Jed Foundation, I'll have that link down below as well.
Oh my gosh, Hunter. Congratulations.
Thanks. It's really exciting.
So awesome. You're a great candidate. I hope that they pick you.
Me too. It all comes down to votes.
Okay, so it's like the people that would pick you.
Yes. So
oh my gosh.
This first challenge is testing your influence.
So we need to be posting on our social. Like
yes.
On our
Share it, tell all your friends. You get 1 free vote a day, and you can vote multiple times, just only once in a day.
I want you to be a reality TV star.
I would love that, I believe.
You love those shows, so
I love perfect. Trashy television, and I just want to be on it.
Now I feel like I would be. You'd be great. You'd be great on it. And that is a compliment. After you just said you love trashy TV. Oh, it's so funny.
So, have we already talked about what we're going to talk about today?
Yeah, our side hustles, remember?
Yes. So, Anna has a quite an interesting side hustle. And so that's why it kind of sparked our interest for this episode.
My side hustle is that I'm a homeowner, and with my house, I rent out my guest bedroom as an Airbnb.
So with this Airbnb business that you have in your own home, do you stay there while you're renting it out?
Yes. So it is just the guest bedroom, and I have my room and everything. So it's kind of like similar to, I guess the closest thing would be a bed and breakfast or a hostel. Like a
hostel?
Kind of where you stay, except for it's only one couple. It's a 1 bedroom with a queen size bed. So our full size bed.
So the most you would have in there is 2 people at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. And it's really fun. It's been busy. I kind of started it once I bought a fixer-upper. So my house, there's some rooms that are just like I keep the door shut because they are, yeah.
That's where everything else has gone. That's why everything else is so immaculate.
Yeah, pretty much. So, and in the instructions, it's like, please keep all doors that are shut.
Okay, so speaking of instructions, do you have like a set of guidelines? Like, when you arrive, this is what you should do.
Yes. So have you ever stayed in an Airbnb, Hunter?
I have, just not one that someone else is also living there.
Okay. So I send them like my address and like brief instructions on how to find the house, like descriptions of what the house looks like, and the lock code, how to get in, and then a brief description of like your room is upstairs down the hallway and to your right. And then I also say like, you'll meet, if I'm not there to greet you, you'll be greeted by my cat Pounce. Just make sure he doesn't like go into the front entryway or outside. And so that's basically the only rule I give them, is because I don't want them to be startled by Pounce right away. They already know he's a part of the house. There's pictures and in description and everything, but I just don't like him going into the basement. So then once they get to my house, there's like a guidebook on the counter that has like the Wi-Fi, where to find water, and little quirks of the house. Stuff like that.
So how often is it that you have a guest that you won't be there to greet them?
Quite often, actually. Yeah, because my check-in time is flexible, so people can pretty much check in any time that works for them. And a lot of times I'm at work. So,
gotcha.
I'll come home and I'll see their car in my driveway. And it's really funny because sometimes I'll go a whole stay without even seeing the people. Like they're in my house. I can hear them. Like if I get home late from work and then I get up early to go to work, they'll like be in their room and I'll never even actually meet them. Yeah.
So do you use like the common areas when they're visiting?
Yeah. Yep. They're free to use my kitchen. They have their own bathroom, but they're free to use like the living room, watch Netflix and chill or whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah. So sometimes you have like really talkative and like friendly people who want to hang out. And then other times, like I said, I won't even meet them. Both are okay.
So what made you decide that you wanted to do the Airbnb business?
I thought it would be fun. I always thought it would. I've stayed at a lot of Airbnbs and I've stayed at excuse me, Airbnbs with other people, and it's just a really fun way to get to know other people's cultures and worlds and make them feel comfortable. And it's a cool way to make money off of my house instead of usually a house is like huge expense, but in this case it's making money for me.
Yes. My boss always says the key to success is to have multiple streams of income and learn how to make money while you sleep. I have not. Well, I guess I'm making money while I sleep. If people are staying at my house. Yeah, I guess I am kind of making money in my sleep. And every once in a while I'll get really, really friendly, kind people. Like for instance, it was a couple guests ago last week. There was a miscommunication and on my end, actually it was my fault. And I felt so bad, but because of it, I was like super accommodating. Like I made it work for them, as I'm sure if someone makes a mistake, that's what you do, is you go above and beyond to fix it. So that's what I did. I went above and beyond to fix the issue, and they were so appreciative. I came home from work and there was a big bouquet of flowers on the counter and a thank you note, and it was just so sweet. And they were so appreciative of me, like just making it right, I guess. But yeah, so you meet just the nicest people. Awesome. So what do people come to Ironwood for? Skiing?
Yes, skiing, snowboarding, hiking. Sometimes it's just like a stop on their way to like another city. We have a lot of people from Minneapolis and a lot of people from Chicago area. Some people from downstate Michigan who are like driving through the UP to do like a UP tour.
Okay.
And yeah, sometimes people coming to visit family. Yeah.
Because there's not a hotel there, right?
Oh yeah, there's hotels. There's a lot of hotels here. It's just, Ironwood is a super touristy little area. The UP is. So a ton of tourists. Sometimes like the hotels are full. So yeah,
I've got to come up there.
You've got to come up. There's lots of outdoorsy hiking things to do.
And I will stay in your Airbnb and contribute to your side hustle.
Oh, no. I'll give you a good discount.
Yeah.
Meaning
friends and family.
You can stay for free.
I get the friends and family discount.
Yes, 100%. And also my neighbor wants to meet you. So you need to come up and meet Danielle too. So, and I keep on talking. I'm like, every time I see Danielle, I'm like, we need to have a game night. We need to schedule a game night. Settlers of Catan. You like Catan, don't you?
I love Catan.
Oh my gosh.
Love it. But I've only ever played the original. Didn't you say you have the expansions?
We only have to play the expansion if there's more than 4 of us, I think.
Oh, I thought the expansions made it different, like Cards Against Humanity.
No, it's kind of the same rules, only they have like a seafarers where you have like ships also. Oh. And you can add on like a couple more players.
Okay. So when you started the Airbnb business, did you know that it was going to become like what it is?
I did not think I was going to be this busy, but literally the first day I put it up, on Airbnb, I got a booking, and it's been pretty steady ever since. And I go through some weeks that are slower. It's also getting a lot slower because a lot of people are starting Airbnbs in our area. So in the last year, there's been a whole lot of people starting it. So I think the market is just a little saturated, which is fine. I'm like as busy as I want to be. Like sometimes I feel like I'm too busy. And for instance, after working a very long day at work, the last thing I want to do is come home and do laundry. And I have to clean. Like I have to go through the checklist of things to do. And that's really exhausting if you want to do anything outside of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
As many side hustles are, if you're working and then doing something on the side, that's the reality of what it is.
Yeah. So is this your only side hustle?
I guess you could say that our education is kind of like a side hustle, being an educator.
Yeah.
Although we haven't been traveling or doing anything in the last 3 years. So I don't know if we can count that.
That's fair. That's fair. I feel like, it was a side hustle whenever we were traveling, whenever COVID wasn't a thing.
I guess I have one other side hustle that I just recently started. I choreograph for our local show choir called Accent.
Yes, you told me that, and it's a bunch of high schoolers, right?
Yes.
Or is it all ages?
They're high schoolers. They're in high school. And I don't think I'm getting paid for that. I mean, the director did say he would pay me, but I was already going to. He asked me to do it, and it was one of those things where I just like didn't really reply right away because I had to think about it.
Right.
And then he sends me another text that says, "We'll pay you," and I had already decided that I was going to do it. And so I just sent a text that was like, all right, these are the days that I can do it, and I'm willing to help you out. I think he was just kind of desperate for help for choreography. So I was just like, yeah, I'll do it. And on Mondays, I go over and teach choreography, and they're performing to Crocodile Rock.
I've seen the choreography, and it is top notch, truly.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah, that happened. The choreography happened after a long day in the salon, and I'm just like, I need to use these mirrors to my advantage. So I like kind of dimmed the lights and did my thing, moved all the chairs around.
Turn it into a little studio.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So how about you, Hunter? Do you have any side hustles?
I do have quite a few side hustles, kind of. So, like you said, the education was one of my first side hustles that I started. But currently what I'm working on, and I've not really said this out loud. I've said it out loud to Bradley and Bradley alone. But now I'm kind of speaking it out into
I feel honored.
The universe. Yeah. So I am diversifying my investment portfolio in order to one day open my own company.
Hair company?
Yeah, a hair company.
Like a salon?
No, like a company that sells tools.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cosmoprof?
No, like Fabulous.
Okay, so what kind of tools do you want to make?
Well, that's the part that I don't necessarily want to talk out loud about, but you and I will have all the chats about it, because I've only told one person this for the last 4 years.
Okay.
So you and I can talk about it, but it's for
else
sure.
Needs to stay tuned.
Stay tuned, yeah, because it's actually starting to become something that can be real soon. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, can I be sponsored by you?
Duh. I'll send you. You'll be the first one on my PR list. Quite literally, because your name is Anna.
I don't even know what this tool is, but I'm excited.
So there's multiple. There's going to be multiple, but you have to start with one thing, right? So.
Oh my gosh, I want to guess so bad, but I know I'm not going to do that to you.
I'll for sure tell you. But what I've had a lot of fun with is the whole diversifying the investment portfolio.
What does that mean? Please explain diversifying the investment portfolio.
Just investing in multiple things that... What had just happened?
I just took a sip of my second tea in my thermos and it burned my mouth. It's been very hot in there. I need a drink of my water.
I guess I just looked away for a second and all I saw was a very shocked face, Anna.
Oh my gosh, it was so painful. My mouth tastes like sandpaper, or feels like sandpaper.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Okay, I just had some water and hopefully I didn't burn all my taste buds off. I got a little bit distracted. Go on.
It's fine. I was going to say, take the lid off.
Yep.
Maybe even pour it into your mug.
Good idea.
So what I mean by diversifying my investment portfolio is just making investments in things that are actively making me money. And if it's not actively making me money, then selling those and investing in something that is.
Like stocks?
Stocks, ETFs, Bitcoin. I have...
Do you have an advisor, or do you just know all of this? Oh, okay.
Well, I know quite a bit just from having an advisor, but I don't do any of my own trades. I have someone else do all of that knows much, much more than I do. I know enough to say, I think it's time to exchange this or to sell this or that, and I can ask for advice on it, but they make that... Ultimately, I guess it's my money, so it's my decision. But I have a really good advisor that I trust a lot that's never lost, exorbitant amounts of money. But yeah, that's my side hustle right now, is
very
quite
cool.
Literally making money in my sleep.
That is very cool, Hunter. And I would love to pick your brain because I just started putting money into a retirement fund. And
what kind of retirement fund is it? Tell me.
It's a Roth IRA.
That's the best one to have.
Okay, good. And I think it's working. I don't know. I just sent the company my money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's put into that. I hope it's not just sitting in an account like it was my savings, but...
So with a Roth IRA, that's after your money has been taxed, it gets sent there, versus with a traditional like 401k or a traditional retirement plan.
When you pull it out.
Yes. So this is money that's already been taxed. So the money that's growing in that account you've already paid taxes on. Mm-hmm. So when you pull it out at whatever age you choose to retire, I think I have mine set at like 65.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if this company takes off, hopefully it'll be before 65.
Hunter.
Thank you. But yeah, and you just contribute to it per week or per paycheck, however you want to do it. And there's a limit to how much you can contribute per year.
I think 6,000 is how much you can.
Yeah.
So you can either have it pulled out automatically to be 6,000 or however much you want, or you can just do one big dump at the end of the year.
Yeah, whichever one. I put it in there weekly because I will spend it. I may be really good at saving money, but I also need to put it somewhere where I'm not looking at it. Mm-hmm. Because if I see it, I will spend it. I like to spend money. We've discussed that before.
At least you know it, and you're working with like how you are. You know yourself. That's good. That's
true.
I know. I can just squirrel away money. It's good. It's a good thing, but also like I don't know. I know. I was gonna share a story since we're on the topic of investments and Bitcoin and stuff like that.
I'm ready for it.
My good friend, the one that came up this week, she shared with me a story about one of her friends, and actually kind of her. It happened so she's in school in Chinese medicine school. And so there's a bunch of friends that are in the same situation. And one of her friends does a really good job posting on Instagram. She's constantly taking videos of herself, like talking about her day. And so there's a lot of content on her Instagram. Right. And then all of a sudden, this friend, I forgot her name, let's say Susan. All of a sudden, Susan posts a video of herself talking. Her lips are moving. She's talking. It's a video about, oh my gosh, I invested $1,000 and I got 10,000 back. And it's really easy. You just have to, it's all through Bitcoin and blah, 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 blah. And she gave a little brief like promo video for getting all this money. And then she gave a link of this is how you do it. So my friend goes in and she's looking at it, and a couple of our other classmates did the same thing where they're like, oh, this sounds really great. And it sounded really exciting and promising. They were talking to someone over like Messenger, and a lot of them got to a point where like they were about to set up an account, and they paused because there were some like sneaky little red flags that they were just like, this doesn't seem right. And then my friend's partner actually knows a lot about investing, and he called it out right away. He's like, that's a scam. Don't do it. But unfortunately, since this Susan has all of these people, her influence, one of their other friends did do it.
Oh no.
And gave her information, and they went in and like took like $6,000 in a couple days.
Oh my God.
I know. And this is a woman who has a young kid. She's in school. She works hard. And so I know to a lot of people, it's like, oh, 6,000, but 6,000 is
that's a lot of money.
I mean, like we just said, that's a whole year's worth of saving.
Yeah.
The moral of the story is, if anyone asks you for money, don't believe them.
Don't believe it.
Do not believe them. And
unless you're donating to the Jed Foundation starting tomorrow.
Okay,
that was
legit. I can vouch. But although, are you a robot? Is someone making you say that?
Who knows?
But the creepy thing is that these people literally, they had the technology to piece together words that she was saying and video clips of her saying different things to like fool everyone.
That is insane. And like her closest friends were the ones that were falling for it.
Yep.
That could have like ruined relationships.
Yes. And as soon as Susan found out, of course, she was mortified, as it was everyone. And she went on and said, do not, this is a scam. I've been like hacked. Do not give to this company. It's not real.
Did she have to delete her account and everything?
I don't know. I didn't ask that question, but it's so I mean, the same thing Dallin got hacked, and they held his account ransom and said, give us X amount of money and then we'll give you back your account. And he was just like, no.
I'll just make a new one.
Yeah, he started from the bottom, and I think he's doing well. So again, go follow him. It's pretty inspirational, the fact that he now has to start from the bottom and work his way up, and he's already doing an amazing job. But
yeah,
great content.
Speaking of social media, I would say that is like one of my side hustles as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is social media.
You're so good at it too.
Thank you. I try really, really hard. It's like, I used to be kind of embarrassed about trying so hard on social media, but now it's a little more socially acceptable to want to have a career in social media.
Yeah, and you're doing a good job.
Thanks. Yeah, so like this podcast is, I guess, for both of us would be kind of a side hustle eventually.
Yeah.
It starts as a passion project, and then but I think that's how all side hustles start. It's something that you really want to do, and then eventually it makes money.
This weekend, it was our town's first Friday. So every first Friday of the month, they encourage businesses to stay open and some company, like some stores will have like fun events, and
Right.
our little food co-op was doing a wine tasting, and then also seed collecting. And this woman who moved here from Idaho last year has a passion for giving people seeds and helping them plant gardens. And she had done a ton of research on all of the vegetables that grow well in our zone, which is really hard to grow anything in this area because we have such a short season. And she just she grew heirlooms and then saved the seeds. And she had a whole, like a couple tables worth full of seeds that she was giving away.
Was it all tomatoes?
No. I mean, there was lots of tomatoes, but I got a lot of seeds for my garden. Almost all of the seeds for I have a little raised bed. So I've got carrots.
Okay.
Carrots, beets, radishes, kale, squash. I'm going to do some peppers. I like summer squash. And then, what else? I love carrots because they do really, really well in the winter. You can actually grow carrots all winter long, and they'll continue to grow under the snow. And people actually say, I just learned this. I learned it like literally right after I pulled up my carrots. It's best to leave them in the ground after it freezes because it makes them sweeter.
Really?
Yeah. So leave your carrots in the ground even like throughout winter. And I'm sure it would work in Nashville or your zone too.
Yeah, we don't have any vegetables. I've not ventured into the edible food growing.
Oh, it's
I
so
really
fun.
like flowers.
I do too, but there's something rewarding about like being able to eat the food. And last year I started like a trellis. It's very MacGyver-like. It's made out of PVC and chicken wire. And if I was an HOA, I'd probably get like hate mail for it, but
absolutely you would. It would be me.
You and your flowers, and I have like this PVC pipe with chicken wire. And like I just had extra dirt that I didn't know what to do with, that was from the raised bed, that I just kind of like put in a big mound in my yard. Like a big dirt mound, and then I put the PVC around the dirt mound, and that's where I grow my pumpkins. And the pumpkins grow, instead of growing out over my whole yard, they grow up. The vines grow up.
Did you know that they do that at Epcot?
Oh, look at me.
Yeah.
Fancy little PVC chicken wire.
You know what you could do too is drill holes in the PVC and put a water hose at the top of it, and it's a self-watering pumpkin growing station.
Interesting. I was thinking that you could grow beans.
You could also grow beans. Yeah.
Yes. So this year I'm gonna do more with pumpkins. I definitely planted too many plants in the little mound of dirt that I had, where it was insane. I had to go out there daily and like tell the vines where to go, and they were taking over my yard.
That was going to be my next question. So how do the pumpkin grows off of the ground, or you still let the pumpkin grow on the ground?
The pumpkin grows on the trellis. So the vines, you train the vines to go to the trellis. So picture like this big standing arch with wire on it. Okay. And so you train the vines to get to the arch, and then you weave the vines in and out of the chicken wire fencing. And the vines have like these little tendrils that grow out, and you take the tendrils and like kind of wind them around the wire. So then the pumpkins will grow and hang off of the trellis or the arch wire.
Do you get like prettier pumpkins that way too?
Yes, I would say that they were pretty. A couple, you know what? Interestingly, they didn't really have some of them didn't have a flat bottom.
Because they were like drooped?
Yes, probably. They were like shaped kind of like teardrops.
Ooh. That would make an interesting jack-o'-lantern.
Except for it doesn't sit, like it will roll.
Have you seen the pumpkin molds where you put the baby pumpkin in the mold and as it grows, it takes over whatever shape the mold is?
No.
That one's an interesting one. If you get bored this summer,
I'm going to have to try that. There was a lot of baby pumpkins that just didn't make it. I don't think that they were, I don't know if they were pollinated. Like, there was a ton of bees in my yard, but they weren't doing their job in pollinating. So I would go out there and like self-pollinate. Like, help them.
the guy on TikTok. Have you seen him?
I've never seen him. No.
Oh my gosh, he has like this little Q-tip and he goes to each of his plants and he's like, is it okay if I pollinate you today? Okay. And then he's like, ask for consent.
I did feel a little bit weird about it. Like I was like, should I be playing some like jazz music or how can I make you feel more comfortable? And then people would be walking by and like, don't mind me. We're just, having plant sex.
You should having plant sex. You should get a honeybee hive.
I've thought about it.
I see you as a beekeeper for sure.
I love bees. It's hard. I know. I have friends who have bees, and they say it's kind of hard in our weather because it gets so cold that unfortunately a lot of the bees will die, which is really sad. I know.
Sad day. Be heartbroken. You need like a little indoor bee hive.
I'm gonna look into that, Hunter. I also want a couple chickens.
I love chickens.
They're so
I saw
fun.
you with the chicken in your arms the other day.
Oh, that was actually also on First Friday. There's a man who has like a deep passion for ducks and chickens, and he walks around town all the time with his birds, and I've met them a couple times. So the chicken that I had was his name is Colonel Sanders, and he's a really small little rooster.
Aww.
And yeah, he's really cute, and I picked him up, and apparently chickens, when they get excited, they shake. Uh-huh. And I was like, and when they're happy, that's like how they show that they're happy. And I was like, oh my gosh, is he scared? Should I put him down? And they're like, no, that's actually chickens. Like, imagine a chihuahua when they quiver. That's what the chicken was doing. And
that's so sweet. And he was happy.
He was happy, and I was just petting. He fell asleep. Like, he closed his little eyes, their eyelids go up.
Yeah.
So he's sitting creepy. In my arms. His eyelids like go up, and he's just like shaking. It was so cute.
So whenever I was growing up, my grandfather, he had, and I'm gonna probably be embarrassed by this because this is probably not what they're called, but this is what we called them in the South. Baney chickens.
Baney chickens.
Baney chickens. So they're like chickens but miniature.
Oh.
And I wouldn't know how to spell it to help you look it up. It's just, my papa would say Baney chickens. So we have Baney chickens.
That's so cute.
We also used to have a turkey named Tom.
Little tiny. Ooh.
Yeah, we had him for like 3 years, and then we had him for Thanksgiving.
Oh. How did that make you feel, eating Tom?
I grew up on a farm. That was normal.
Okay. My dad grew up on a farm, so my grandparents have a farm, and my grandpa is still farming, and he's in his 90s.
Wow.
And they would always kill a goose for Thanksgiving. So that was what we would have, would be a goose. And it was always the mean one. They would pick the mean goose. And we had goose instead of turkey.
So what does goose taste like?
I like bird. I don't know. Like, kind of like more of dark meat, kind of. A little bit more.
Oh. Speaking of birds, I've changed my mind. I don't want a parakeet. I want a galah cockatoo.
Oh my gosh, sounds fancy.
I'm about to send you a picture, and I'll post it in the Instagram story.
Okay.
I'm gonna look it up really quickly. Oh, the first one already. Beautiful. So
do they have these at Petco?
No, absolutely not. I found a breeder in
This bird
Oklahoma.
is too good for that. Absolutely.
Well, I don't know. Absolutely not. No, I think it's a little more rare, or maybe not rare, but like.
Oh my gosh, the beauty. It's like, I'm sorry, you guys. I just got the picture. I have to give you a description. It has like a red chest and gray feathers, and then like a rose plume on its head.
So they're also called the pink-breasted cockatoos.
Oh.
And they're known for like, the pink-breasted cockatoo is known for being able to speak the most clear.
So cute. So then we can have him on our podcast.
But I found a breeder out of Oklahoma, and once you purchase the bird, they actually send one of their handlers on a plane with the bird to your house, and then the handler like hands you the bird with the cage and everything.
Oh my gosh, those feathers.
They're the most beautiful thing.
It looks so regal.
Yeah.
Its beak is kind of short too. It looks cute.
Yeah, less bitey.
Yeah. So I was doing some research on falconry. Did I?
Okay.
Remember the article that I sent you? Did you read it with the hat?
I did. So if anyone wants to know, it's actually called a fuck hat.
Mm-hmm.
That is the scientific term. I don't think I will.
Okay, good.
But it's how they breed falcons, right?
Yeah. So there was I don't have that article pulled up, but I sent this article to like 5 of my friends, and Hunter is the only one that read it. What?
Quick question though. How did you find this article? Not only did I read it, but I then clicked on the related content button and also watched multiple videos on the fuck hat.
Yes. Well, I was listening to a podcast, as many of you guys will be listening to this, and then go do your own research. And that's basically what they said. They're like, look into it, do your own research. And of course I was like, yes, this is what I need to do this. So actually, while my color was processing, I was reading about this, and we were going on this educational journey together with my client and I, and we were laughing so hard. But basically this type of falcon was going extinct, and these professors built up all of these crazy ways to try and help this endangered bird. And the best way, this technique was the reason why we still have, what was the name of the falcon again? Start with a P. Anyways,
Primrose?
I think so, something like that. Paraguay or something.
As you're telling the story, I'll find the article.
The penguin falcon. Anyways, this hat is the reason why this bird is no longer on the endangered species list. And
it's right here. Peregrine. Okay, peregrine falcon. And you have to look it up. It's this hat. It gives me the creeps because I have this weird phobia of anything with holes in it. But what is that called? Trichophobia?
Yes.
Trichophobia.
I don't know. It makes me cringe. I can't even think about it. But it's this hat that's round and like extends like a brim. Think about a top hat without the top, just the brim.
You know what it made me think of was a sea.
A coral?
Like a coral, yeah. It has like a bunch of honeycomb holes.
Those bothered me too. I can't. So it was really disturbing to me when I saw it. I was like, oh no, I can't even look at this. But they wear it, and the falconer has to wear it every single time they go outside. And you have to gain the falcon's trust. So you're walking around with this hat for hours and hours, and they also say
sounds
you have to be
that
consistent.
These humans make.
You have to make a sound, like, so they can trust you. And then not only do you have to make a sound, but you have to like move like the falcon and make certain movements and wear the same color clothes. And so it takes a lot of work on the falconry's part, but they say that then once the falcon comes, lands on the hat, and then I can't even say it.
Releases its young.
Its offspring, which then gets saved and then used, like preserved and used for helping. They used to, before they invented this hat, they used to go catch the bird, hold it down, and then do the deed.
To the bird.
Mm-hmm. So this is a much nicer, consensual. How did we get on this topic? It was first plants, and now we're talking falcons.
It's, the extinction of falcons. It's
what we do to keep the world spinning. It's what you have to do.
Yeah, you just have to go on these deep dives of...
You help the plants and you help the birds.
Exactly.
Okay. I just feel like this could be a gateway for you, Hunter. Getting your little pink-breasted cockatool to being a falconer with one of those hats. I'm going to buy you one of those hats. Oh, also, the hats are very expensive.
Are they? I didn't look that far. I just watched videos.
Expensive.
So we've been talking for quite a while and a little off topic, but that's fine. We're just bantering. But one thing that I really want to talk about this episode is the fact that we always ask for 5-star reviews, right? And I honestly, I'm going to be so transparent and honest. I didn't know where to find them. Like, I had no idea if you guys liked what we were doing, if you were listening, like...
Same.
Any input that you had, I didn't know it existed. So, we actually found those. And I would like to share the 2 that I found because they're just so sweet. And one of them is Anna's neighbor, who is a huge friend of the pod, and I love her so much. But this one is from Amatic64 on Apple Podcasts. And the review is so easy to listen to. I love all the perfectly rehearsed information, stuffed educational podcasts in our industry. But it was great to finally just get to listen to real stylists have an easy conversation. You already know I want to hear the one about our first oh shit salon moments.
We haven't done that one yet. So
we haven't.
Maybe
and so
next week?
Yeah, that's one of our podcast episodes now. When I saw them, I literally broke down in tears.
Aww.
Because this is like not a super easy thing for us to take time out of our day and like edit it and think of the topics to talk about. And so, I'm getting a little emotional. I don't like that. Probably going to cut that. It's a lot of work for us. And the fact that you guys like it, even though it was just the 2 of those comments, that meant like a lot. Just 2 comments made me want to keep going. So,
yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. It's very encouraging. Sometimes I wonder, I'm like, is anyone listening? Or are we just talking? Which would be fine because, like, this is our time to banter between us anyways.
Yeah. This is our friendship time.
But it's fun to know that we have a little community.
Yeah. And this episode was a great episode to end on those 2 5-star reviews because this happens to be the last episode of season 1.
Really?
This is episode 10.
Wow.
Yeah. So next week starts episode 2. And Anna, do you want to tell them what they can look forward to in season 2?
Yeah. So season 2, our goal is to bring a lot of guests onto the podcast. So Yeah, my screen just died for a second. My iPad is about to die, so we have to wrap it up.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're going to be asking a lot of people to join us and interview, and hopefully everyone will have someone different. Otherwise, there may be a couple where it's just Hunter and I, but yeah, bring some new people in and get to know others.
Yeah.
Before we end, though, we need to finish with the hair.
Or our hair myth. Yeah.
Our hair myth.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Did you want to add anything about season 2?
No, I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to hear some new voices and ask some questions and really get into the breakroom banter of it all.
Yes. Okay, so here is the question. Is baldness inherited from the maternal side? True or false? Or baldness is inherited from the maternal side. True or false?
I've always heard true.
Yes, I've always heard true also. But it says that the truth is actually the timing and extent of balding can come from either side, which makes sense. Like,
right.
It was always one of those things I was like, but why just the mothers?
Right.
I think it's something
I always thought that it was like the mother's father.
Yeah, I think it was something we always just told people to feel better about themselves. Like, oh, don't worry, it's on your mother's side.
Just tell them what they need to hear. Yes, don't worry, it's on your dad's side.
Oh yeah, it's your great uncle's cousin's stepson.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. The chromosomes go all the way down. Yeah. Well, that was a cool myth.
Yeah, and I mean, something I
neither
believed.
of us knew it. Yeah. It was something that neither of us knew. So we learned something new. Well, with that being said, thank you so much, everyone, for listening to another episode of Breakroom Banter, a hairstylist adjacent podcast. If you're listening on your favorite podcasting app, now that we know how to find your reviews, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. If you're listening on YouTube, the secret word of the week is hustle. So leave a comment on our YouTube video of the word hustle. And that is our secret word of the week. If you'd like to follow us on our social medias, my name is @HairXHunter on all the things. Our podcast Instagram is @BreakroomBanterPod. And the lovely Miss Anna's Instagram is
Anna.SHR8hair.
And this has been another episode of Breakroom Banter. Bye.
Bye.